So why did the Indominus Rex kill her sibling? Based on what we saw go down in Jurassic World, it's easy for us to see the I-Rex as a monster, an angry, enraged beast whose only interest is killing everything in sight. However, being that she is highly intelligent, have you ever considered that there's so much more to her motivations than meets the eye? All we know is that they cooked her up in a lab, and that's really all we hear. Lab animals go through so much, and their innocence are rendered as exploited because they're made uncertain as to why these beings are doing this to them. They probably don't think of humans as evil the same way that if a shark would attack us in the water, we wouldn't think of it as evil, just a scary predator that is doing what it's designed to do. There's no personal vendetta or sinister meaning behind it. This is especially true if the animals were never treated with tenderness from a young age. Many people chalk up the Indominus Rex, his reason for eating her sibling, to being competition, dominance, or that she was plainly sadistic from the start. It's not unheard of for creatures to eat their siblings. I mean, animals such as sand tiger sharks commit fratricide before they even exit the womb. One shark will be left standing, or floating, before the mother shark performs a live birth. This cannibalistic behavior by the baby sand tiger shark is a product of evolution. Like cats, a female sand tiger shark can bear offspring from different male sharks, so there's a very likely chance that all of the baby sharks inside her womb have completely different fathers. This would give reason to the baby sharks to compete with one another, wanting the best male offspring to survive. Even though the Indominus Rex is made up of different creatures, and because it is a hybrid of so many different dinosaurs and animals, it's highly understandable why the scientists knew not what to expect. Technically, every dinosaur in Jurassic Park is a hybrid, but this animal's construction seems to be a mishmash of many different things, more so than the average dinosaur in Jurassic Park. Even though the Velociraptor gene is one out of an estimate of 12 different species that were used to cook up this dinosaur, it seems to be the one that stands out the most in terms of its intelligence. There has to be something more to it because the animal is far more intelligent than normal, even more so than the Velociraptors, as it seems. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. What I do want us to focus on is the fact that the Indominus is highly intelligent. So, a baby sand tiger shark eating its siblings doesn't know that it's doing it to get rid of the competition. It's more so an instinctive behavior that was brought about through many years of evolution. The Indominus Rex seems to be a creature that gives a lot of thought into certain behaviors. Tricking the park employees into coming into her cage, knowing what her tracking device was, much less to know to claw it out and to remember where they put it, these are behaviors that gives us cause to look at this animal as just more than a primitive, bloodthirsty creature. We don't get much into its childhood, but I can imagine it being completely different from how Owen Grady's raptors were. Now, for us to really understand, we would have to get into the mindset of the Indominus Rex, or see things from its perspective. So, imagine this. You're born into a cold world. You hatch out of your egg and you're alongside your brother or sister. There's no warmth or familial connection to be had. Whatever you are handled, it's roughly and with indifference. Your sibling and you are placed in a container where you can see what's going on around you. These strange beings that prod and poke you and your sibling seem to only have the purpose of torturing you. As soon as you come into this life, you're injected, force-fed, and treated in a completely unnatural manner. The only connection that you have is with your sibling. You two are apparently a success, but it didn't stop there. As you grow, so does your intelligence, and so does your observational skills. You notice that there are other animals around the lab that are engineered or brought to life, and most of them don't make it. Most of them are either put under immense stress and killed as a result, born severely deformed, and just slowly left to die to see how long they'll last, or killed and possibly fed to other live animals in the lab. Abused, starved to see how long they can go without food, fed certain things to experiment certain allergic reactions that usually end up in death or sickness. Very quickly, as an intellectual being, even though you don't know exactly what you are, you know that this is a very hostile environment. You've also seen countless attempts of these beings trying to recreate what looks like you and your sibling. The majority of them come out deformed or dead. However, they do manage to create another one successfully. They decide to do tests on this one. They do a variety of stress tests to see which genes are activated throughout the genetic engineering. They want to see how your new younger brother deals with intense heat directly on the skin, how high he can jump or climb under stress. The stress usually comes in the forms of electrocution, fire, hitting, and other means. They put him in the extremely cold temperatures and keep turning the dial as low as they can until he becomes motionless. As they gradually increase the heat again, and your brother fails to stir, they nudge him and then poke him with a sharp object to stimulate him. When he fails to move then, they put him back in his canister. These tests go on for days and days and then weeks. They break some of his bones to see how fast he can heal. They pour different types of acid on his skin to see if skin regeneration is a feature that he has. And they inflict pain on him to see what kinds of vocalizations he makes under stress. You witness all of this going on for weeks. Eventually, your new little brother dies. You notice that the scientists start looking at your sibling. You can't really understand what they're saying, but you have the inkling that they want to run similar tests, albeit milder ones, on your sibling. So what do you do? What would you do to the only person you've ever loved and known, to the only being with whom you have a true connection? Would you not want to save them from the suffering that you see many of these other animals go through? Many modern animals of today, when facing starvation or being cornered by predators, will kill and eat their offspring to protect them from being killed by the predators. In the face of starvation, they will eat their offspring out of mercy and to also not waste the bodies. A mother rodent, knowing that she cannot provide for her young, only has one choice in her instinctual mind. She doesn't want her babies to starve, and if she eats them, she can sustain herself long enough until better times arrive to where she can have a new batch of babies in better conditions. There's some animals like wild horses who will do the same. Horses don't eat their young, of course, since they're herbivores, but if a male stallion sees one of his mares give birth to a foal that is sick or handicapped, he will make the move to go over, grab it by the neck, and shake it until its neck breaks or it dies. It seems brutal, but he's doing the foal a mercy. I'm not saying this is the case with the Indominus Rex, but I'm only asking you to consider the possibility. I mean, it would explain why she hates the humans so much, even explain why she didn't kill herself. Having the level of intelligence that she does, like raptors, she probably would have likely become embittered towards the humans and bided her time until she could seek revenge on them. She probably even understood how important the park was to the humans, and she probably understood that all the dinosaurs that existed in the park were aberrations, which would explain why she just wanted to kill all of them. She hated what these dinosaurs stood for, that they were the creations that the humans took joy in, that they got to live fake and happy lives. So that's just a theory that we procured, but what do you think is the real reason the Indominus Rex killed her sibling? Do you think it was just as simple as trying to get rid of competition? After all, the big one in Jurassic Park killed most of the raptors because they were defying her and would not submit to her authority. But we're interested in hearing from you guys. So write down in the comments below what your idea is of why the Indominus Rex killed her sibling. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Altiori. You ask, we answer.